Well, how are you feeling? And welcome. Got John Riggs here. I thank you for watching, and if you just got your PlayStation VR, congratulations, and welcome to the awesome world of the PlayStation VR. I'm a huge fan. I waited a year, and then I bought mine last year, and now that there's all these Black Friday deals going on, and there's more people selling PlayStation VRs, and it seems like the PlayStation is still into making VR games, there's no reason why not to grab one. It's just such a great, fun, immersive experience. So I have for you, if you're just getting to the PlayStation VR, I get asked this question pretty regularly. Well, now that I have a VR, what are some great games I should check out? You know, what are the first ones to start out with? I got 20 games I want to showcase in this video on why the PlayStation VR is one of my favorite experiences currently. And spoiler alert, both of these games are going to be in it. Let's check it out. Well, we got Firewall 0 Hour. This game is a blast, no pun intended. It's 4-on-4. You get your 8 people. You can play it online. You get to play it online. There are some one-player kind of tutorial-ish missions, but you get to see where your guys are, and you have to, of course, beat the other guys, either by getting to their computer or you have to defend your computer. It takes turns both ways. First you're attacking, then you're defending. You keep on swapping sides like that. What I like about this game is you can upgrade your characters, upgrade your weapons, choose what works best for you. And then when you unfortunately do, let's say, die in the game, you become the security cameras. And you can go from camera to camera, still talking to your friends in their ear, because you're playing this, you know, through the speaker and all that. So you can say, like, hey, there's a guy coming up from behind the stairs, or hey, there's an enemy in that room behind the door. Watch out for him. Stuff like that. So you can certainly use that to your advantage. Super fun game. I highly recommend it. It is called Firewall 0 Hour. And if you have a PlayStation VR, it's definitely one that you should add to your collection. Well, you can't go wrong with Resident Evil 7 Gold. Make sure you get the one that says Gold, because that has the DLC on it as well. Or most of it, rather. But it's just Resident Evil 7, but in VR. The creepiness, the textures of the walls, just the immersion of being in this creepy house with this creepy family, just trying to find your girlfriend so you can get out of there. And then you're finding out, kind of what happened along the way. Why is this family like this? And it's just kind of cool to see. I'm not really one for jump scares. And I didn't really suffer from any of those in this game. You feel like you would, or you feel like there would be. And sure, there's a couple times you kind of jump back and go, ooh, okay, sure. But other than that, I mean, it has like the Resident Evil 7, the Resident Evil the puzzles that we kind of know to expect and everything. And it just kind of gives you that weird, like, what's around the corner, what's going on. You can pop in these videotapes and kind of play an interactive, what happened before you got there kind of thing, which is pretty fun too. So make sure you check out Resident Evil 7. Make sure you get the one that says Gold. It's an environmental too, so I'm crouching down behind this thing. If she turned around and saw me, then it would have been done for her. But since I crouched down, she can't see me. So I'm gonna let her go through her way, and I'll sneak around her as soon as she's gone. Resident Evil 7. Make sure you get the one that says Gold. All right. Now, Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin is just fun. From Double Fine, you go inside people's minds. You're a psychonaut. You go inside their minds to see what they're seeing, and that way, if someone's scared, you can see what's making them scared and say, like, oh no, this is why this is happening, and you just have to kind of solve your puzzles that way. My kids enjoyed this one a lot because you don't really die in this one. You just kind of go from place to place, person to person, thing to thing, until you solve the puzzle, until you figure out, how to get past that part of the level or whatever. So make sure you check out Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin. It's been out for a while now, so you'll be able to find it pretty cheap, no doubt indeed. And it's just fun to play. Very, very cartoony, very fun to look at. Just a great job by Double Fine. Kind of one of the first, like, oh my goodness, you have to play this game, PSVR games, is Farpoint. And if you haven't checked it out yet, it is a first-person shooter. You're on this alien planet, and it was kind of the first, like, oh man, this is what a eureka moment, because like you're just walking around, and you're just trying to find out, what happened, why did the ship wreck, what happened before you got there. And like when you first walk out of the alien planet, you see like just how big and how desolate it looks. You're just like, ooh boy. What am I in for? It's just that one of the first immersion things, and you guys have the giant bugs, shoot them right in the butt. These giant creatures that you got to defeat too. Of course, you'll get your weapon upgrades along the way too. But it's just kind of one of the first-person shooters with a cool storyline and pretty long gameplay too to go all the way through it. And this is AIM You can use your aim controller here. I'm actually using my DualShock right here, but you can use the aim controller if you prefer that route for Farpoint. Now, Rec Room is a free download, so you gotta love the free games. They just recently released this, which is a very Castlevania-y kind of, Halloween game. Even so much that it has a whip and everything. It's a multiplayer. It's just the multiplayer lounge. It's just fun to play. This is how we record our PSVR podcast. And again, I can't stress how much of a free game it is and how fun it is too. Because there's charades. You can just hang out in the lobby and chat with people. You can hang out in what they call the rec room. There's people who build their own levels, people who build their own rooms, and that you can just go and explore and have their own games involved too if you want to play their games. Cool. In this one specifically, there's a lot of games like this. Like there's like a pirate one. There's a like a robot one. I think there's like a laser tag one. If you happen to get hit, you just like high five the other person, and then that's what brings you back to life. So I don't know, pretty fun game. And again, check it out, Rec Room. Well, if you ever wanted to see what it's like to pilot a Wipeout car in the game Wipeout, that's what this is all about. Wipeout has the VR mode now, and super fast racing game. Mario Kart kind of, but not really. You can pick up weapons along the way too and use them to your advantage. It's just fun to just race around as quick as you can. Multiple routes too, like if you want to try to take the shortcut, which is maybe a more narrow road or something like that. Pretty sweet ordeal. I'm a huge Wipeout fan for the PlayStation, always have been, and it was cool to see what it's like. Now, if you suffer from motion sickness and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can play this game, there are a few options for you with Wipeout, because you can say, focus on the track, or focus on the pilot, or focus on the car, to make it so you're not wipe. Now, if you focus on the pilot, you're going to be bobbing back and forth and upside down and sideways, and that might make you a little queasy. But if you just say focus on the street, like focus on the track, then the car will just kind of rotate around you, so you won't feel as, you'll still feel the speed of it, but you won't feel as, rocked back and forth. So if that's your thing, make sure you check out Wipeout. Super, super fun racing game. What could have been considered the tech demo is PlayStation Worlds, and this London heist is absolutely worth playing. Oh man, the PSVR can do this? Wow, that's crazy. Now PlayStation Worlds has other kind of games on it, so to speak, too. I just littered. There's like hang out in the shark cage to see what a shark looks like up close. A couple other like little sporty type things too. But this London heist is definitely worth the playthrough. It won't take you very long to get through it. Like I said, this is kind of a tech demo to see like a little bit of everything outside of the demo disc. But this one in particular, actually this part of the level here is we just, got away with the heist, and now there's people going to be chasing us and attacking us. So you can shoot at them, and, it's cool to, like, actually lean out the window and shoot people behind you and stuff like that, too. So, I don't know, pretty fun. And make sure you check it out. It's called PlayStation Worlds. Highly, highly recommended, of course. Well, we got Batman. Good old Batman. The cool thing with Batman is, it's a shorter playthrough, again, but it's been out for so long that you'll find it cheap, you'll find it used, and it's still fun to play through. Now, I play through the entire mission from start to finish, maybe a couple of times a year or so, just because I can, just because you can. There's other unlockables along the way too, but it's cool to see like what some of these Batman villains look like up close, or what Gotham, the grittiness of it all, looks like up close. Kind of plays like a puzzle game, where it's like you find, you have to find your bat hook, and you have to use it at a certain point or a certain time to grab something else, to put it somewhere else. But it's Batman, and you can't go wrong with Batman. Whatever I need to tell you, it's Batman. Check it out. The Until Dawn Rush of Blood, the roller coaster shooting game, it's awesome. You should check it out. Super, super fun. You can use the Move controllers if you'd like. You can also just use a DualShock for basically both guns facing the same direction at the same time. I would highly recommend the Move controllers on this one, though. You just go through a roller coaster ride, and you shoot the things that are jumping out at you. I don't know what else needs to be said about it. It is super, super fun, and it's called Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Again, it's another one of those games that's been out for a while, so you'll find it cheap, no doubt indeed. Now, a super fun VR mode is in Star Wars Battlefront 1. Yeah, it has to be the first one. There's a Rogue One mission that's in VR, and you'll have an OMG moment when you're playing the game and you're kind of flying around. You're like, oh, you're having fun, this is super fun and everything, and then you see this Star Destroyer come into view, like unframed in the world of VR, and you're like, oh my goodness, that thing is huge. It's a short-ish mission, but if you already have Battlefront, great. I found Battlefront for like super cheap, man, and it was totally 100% worth it just for this one mission, this one mode. So make sure you check it out. It has to be the first one. It's Star Wars Battlefront, the first one, and then with that you can download the VR mission. Another must-have is Moss. Moss came out not too long ago. It was earlier this year. Could be a game of the year, as far as I'm concerned anyway. You play as this cute little mouse, Quill, and it is a puzzle platformer. You play the role of just like this kind of entity overwatching everything. So you control Quill with your D-pad and all that, or your analog stick. But then you can also control the environment. Like you can move these things around to pop them in place for puzzle elements and all that. And it's just a game that, like, once you start playing it, once you get into it, you just want to see what happens next. It plays like a storybook. I mean, the whole game is very storybook driven. So make sure you check out Moss. We have Creed. What a great boxing game. Your move controllers are your boxing gloves, and you box in a virtual reality setting. So this is kind of a grim little bar here, a little dive bar. You have a boxing match right in the middle of it. All right. If I had to compare it to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, it plays a little like that. I mean, you block the punches, and if you successfully dodge their punch, everything goes slow motion, so you can really capitalize on exactly where to punch them. Now, you actually do have to touch gloves to begin with, and then you just start going for it, man. Now, I'm getting staggered here. You have to put your gloves where they should be to realign yourself. Come on, there we go. Oh, I'm having trouble. There we go. But it's fun to see, and that's like, of course on screen you see them right there, but when you're playing this game in real life, they are right up against your nose. It is crazy how it looks, but fun game. And like I said, if you're into Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, stuff like that, this is definitely one that you want to play for yourself, because it's boxing, but it's you play the role of a Creed going through, and just knocked out that fool there. All right, I'll take it. I've talked about this game plenty, and I'll talk about it even more. It is Astrobot. This is the platformer we've been waiting for the PSVR. To me, it plays like Mario Sunshine, because you can jump, and then your double jump it gives you a little bit of a stall like that, and that will actually defeat enemies too. Or you can just punch them and move them out of the way and stuff like that. You can pick up coins along the way, you pick up items along the way too. It gives you plenty to go back through and replay levels to get all the collectibles and all that too. So if you're into PlayStation VR, you love platformers, number one on the list, you gotta check out Astrobot for sure. I can't tell you what makes Tetris Effect so awesome. It's Tetris. It is core. It's Tetris. However, just playing this game in the environment, the music, the sounds, the lights, the action. I mean, it's Tetris. Seriously, it's Tetris. But you have to play it because it's so awesome. How's that for an endorsement? Now this is Pinball FX 2 from Zen Studios. This is one of the DLCs. I had to get the Back to the Future DLC for sure. Instead of playing as the ball or anything, you are playing pinball standing in front of a pinball machine, playing pinball. But I can't tell you how awesome of an experience this is until you experience it for yourself. It's the coolest thing ever. Because you're playing pinball, and I love pinball, but no quarters needed. You can just keep on playing as much as you like. I think the mechanics feel really smooth. I've had pinball enthusiast friends who tell me about this game, and they're like, yeah, it's straight up pinball. Now I like pinball. I'm not a pinball fanatic, but I enjoy it a lot. To my pinball fanatic friends, they are like, yeah, this game is the legit article. So Pinball FX 2, make sure you check it out. A lot of people talking about Beat Saber, and no reason why not. It's super awesome. It's kind of like the Dance Dance Revolution meets Fruit Ninja meets Guitar Hero. You just slice your sabers in the direction of the blocks, in the tune and rhythm of the music that's playing. That's it. But it's super addicting, and you can't go wrong. Beat Saber, only available digitally. There's no physical available yet, at least as far as this video goes. But I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, like Perp Games or Limited Run Games or someone will do a physical version of Beat Saber. I'll be all over it. One of my favorite games of the past year is Pixel Ripped 1989. The core of the game without spoiling too much, because I really want you to experience this game the way I experienced it by just discovering things on my own. The core of this game is inside that Game Boy game that you see down in the corner there. That's a whole other universe that's being torn apart. But you, as the savior, have to, the savior, you have to win. You have to, defeat the bad guy. But then you're in the middle of class, so you have to make sure that your teacher can't see you or spot you playing your game. The fun of it comes too when, like, later on levels and everything, it kind of breaks into, real reality where everything kind of comes out of the game, and then you're playing it, kind of on your desk in the middle of school and stuff like that too. There's so much more to this game though, but this is a really, really fun experience, and I highly recommend checking out Pixel Ripped 1989. Again, another one of those games, digital only for now, but well worth the download. Super fun experience. This was one of my funnest games for the PSVR, and this is Just in Time. Now, your character is someone who, well, watch this. There we go. Take off their shirt, and I'll stab him in the back. Your job is to save people's lives. Like, they're a policyholder, and you need to protect their life. This one happens to have the president, and you have to, defend the president who's about to get shot. So you have to, you can jump in their way. Now, everything goes in slow motion. Every level is in slow motion. But you can grab the bullet and even reflect it back, put it right back at him. Yay, you won. Stuff like that. Later on levels have more intricate, more detail, more stuff going on. But it's just fun to see, and the creativity behind it all. I know the graphics look kind of blocky, very Minecraft kind of thing, but the fact that you can just kind of take off their hats and just, if you want to just remove their guns so they don't shoot at you, you can do that. If you want to take someone else's bullet and put it right there, you can. You can find knives and stuff, stab them, go ahead. So long as but then there's always a mission involved in each level too. This mission in particular is I need to go inside the secret room to save the lady who's about to get lasered in half, very James Bond style. Every level is something different, very creative game, and yeah, if you want to check it out, it is called Just in Time. Oh, look at this, got a samurai sword. What do you think I could do with this guy, huh? There you go. Along those same lines, we have Super Hot. This game has won so many awards. Everything is frozen in time until you move. When you move, they can move. Hi. So, you see them coming at me. There's a guy who just punched out of the elbow. I'll grab the gun here. You can dodge those bullets. It's environmental as well, so you can actually dodge behind things. You can shoot the guy up there. But again, you gotta, so long as you're moving, then they're moving too. So, hey, that means if you're moving, then their bullets are moving, So you can plan your route accordingly, or if you're like, oh, I need to, change direction, I gotta find out, you can throw bottles and stuff at them. Yeah, super, super cool game. Ooh, look at this. Not bad. If you're into Operation Wolf, what about Operation Warcade? You actually even start out in the arcade to play Operation Warcade. It plays like Operation Wolf, but in VR. Now, the graphics are not going to win Graphics of the Year or anything like that. However, this game is going to be super, super fun. It's more fun than you would think by what you see here. Like I said, it plays like Operation Wolf. You shoot down the enemies, you got your gun, you got your grenades. It does a couple of environmental things along the way too. Like there'll be a part where you can, there's freeze grenades that you can use to your advantage. You can pick up new weapons along the way that will give you the upper hand, so to speak. There's even a part where you can go down the ground level to defeat some of the enemies that way too, when you're playing Operation Warcade. Pretty fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. That's been 20 games. You just got your PlayStation VR, and this is a great first 20 games to go with. If you're into the PlayStation VR, maybe I missed one of the games on the list. What did I miss? Make sure you let me know. I'm still discovering new games all the time, too. I am a huge fan. I am all in. I am all about that PlayStation VR action, boss. So if I missed out on any of the games that you've been playing recently, make sure you let me know in the comments, and make sure you let everyone else know in the comments too. Make sure you give this video a like as well if you learned something from it, and make sure you're subscribed. I always do more PSVR content as often as I can, as well as the PSVR podcast. Make sure you check that out every other Monday on the PSVR podcast YouTube channel, as myself and some of my friends through Rec Room will record a live podcast taking your questions live and more, just by hanging out, just by doing what we're doing, man. Thank you for watching. Take care, and we'll see you.